as the Catholic Bishops' Conference of India, which represents about half the churches in the country, hosted Prime Minister Narendra Modi in an unprecedented historic outreach at its headquarters in Delhi on Monday, that was yesterday. A section of the left-leaning ecosystem has raised red flags. Almost 200 individuals have shot off a petition calling upon the church forum, shaming it for having invited the Prime Minister to address concerns regarding alleged attacks on Christians and churches. Others have said that the invitation has legitimized hate and divisive politics. Here is what the letter says in sum and substance. The plight of persecuted Christians ignored, significant surge in violence against Christians that has been ignored and it is being normalized, inaction in the protecting rights of Christians by calling the Prime Minister, you're normalizing this, Hindutva nationalism behind the violence which is being ignored by extending an invite to the Prime Minister, allowing him perhaps in some ways to redeem himself. Christians in India attacked for their faith. Viewers, certain numbers have been cited by these petitioners, 200 of them who have signed, but no source has been given. So when we ran a background check, viewers, we couldn't find these figures. So where they have come from, we don't know, but the letter is out there, viewers. And within the Christian community, it is creating ripples and perhaps even fear. No sooner had the petition been written, the opposition got in on the act, accusing Modi of lying about Sabka Saath, because that's what the Prime Minister invoked when he went to this function, where he also bowed before baby Jesus. There you can see him. That's the nativity scene on the left. And on the right, he's being felicitated by the who's who of the Christian order there, the clergy. MA Baby of the CPM, he says we cannot ignore the double standards at play. Prime Minister Modi is at the helm of a Hindutva communal project and remains silent on the 745 attacks on Christian minorities in India in 2024 alone. Now, MA Baby, viewers, whose own party leaders attack Rahul Gandhi of seeking support of extremists, Islamist extremists, to make his way to parliament, is silent when, for instance, Rahul Gandhi visits minority communities and spends time with them. Or even when he wears his janeu and goes to a Hindu temple. At that time, MA Baby doesn't say, oh, look at the double standards at play. But fundamentally, viewers, do these quote activists unquote have the moral authority to stand in judgment of the Prime Minister? Here's what a random background check on some of the letter writers revealed, and I didn't go through this list, the 200 names, viewers. I just picked out randomly a few names. Professor Ali Nadeem Rezavi, AMU faculty member, has signed this letter. But you know what the irony is, viewers? A few years ago, he had refused to back those seeking the removal of sectarian Muslim League leader and the architect of two-nation theory and the partition of India, Muhammad Ali Jinnah's portrait from the university's Student Union Hall. So this man, who is today giving us lectures on secularism, has no qualms about Jinnah's portrait hanging in JNU. The man who divided this subcontinent on religious lines, viewers. Partition was not about two nations. It was about two religions not being able to get along. And specifically, viewers, the Islamists who believed they couldn't live alongside Hindus. This man is today holding up the mirror. Can you believe it, viewers? Shabnam Hashmi and John Dayal. They were included by the Congress to be part of the drafting committee of the controversial Communal Violence Bill, the CVB, that had to be amended because it assumed that only members of a minority can be targeted during a riot and the majority community will never be victims. Had that bill gone through, viewers, in every communal incident, the Hindu would have been the one going to jail. Then there is, viewers, another signatory called Amrit Wilson, a Marxist feminist based in England who collaborates with Saeed Reza Ameli, the secretary of Iran's Supreme Council of Cultural Revolution, who helped to launch a crackdown against Iranian women who opposed the compulsory wearing of the hijab. The crackdown led to dozens of deaths, illegal arrests and torture, and you know those heartbreaking scenes. And this person backs that, viewers, in the name of religion. laws in the name of religion. And they are giving sermons today about secularism. Vinod Pandey, in 2005, made a film called Sins. It depicted a priest having an affair with a girl half his age. The film was criticized not by me, viewers, by the Mumbai church and labeled, quote, pornographic and sensational, unquote. This individual, viewers, who had a problem with Modi, was called out for his biases by the church itself. Father Cedric Prakash, Catholic priest, hailed the Gujarat High Court ruling that declared that the dastardly Godhra train burning was not an, quote, act of terror, unquote, watering down the charges against the accused. Viewers, instead of saying, actually, let's see if this matter needs to be reviewed, he was cheering the courts on for letting off people who clearly carried out a communal attack. And he's lecturing on secularism. If the petitioners lack the moral standing to question the Prime Minister because of their own patchy commitment to human rights and secularism, then the bare facts also suggest that the Prime Minister has walked Sabka Saath talk. The BJP has embraced Christians, beginning from Jan Sangh founder Shyama Prasad Mukherjee to the Vajpayee NDA and now the Modi NDA. 14 June, for example, 2024, the Prime Minister invited the Pope to India. Why would he be doing so, viewers? 25th December 2023, Modi hosts a lunch for Christians at his residence, which was on Christmas Day. 5th April 2023, Prime Minister Modi met head of the Malankara Orthodox Syrian Church in Delhi. BJP gave tickets to at least 75 Christian candidates across 80 seats in Meghalaya and Nagaland in February 2023, viewers. 18th October 2020, the Prime Minister marked the anniversary of Reverend Dr. Joseph Marthoma, Metropolitan. Several Christians have been placed in prominent party positions in Kerala and Goa. Let's open this up, viewers, without much ado. Let's bring in Sanju Verma. Let's bring in Kamru Chaudhary. Let's bring in Ishkaran Bhandari. Let's bring in Viret Srivastava. And also Anil Antony, the leader of the BJP, who's actually a Christian. But first, Sanju Verma, I want to begin with you. Why do you today believe that this is all propaganda? State your case.
Rahul, first and foremost, let me state this unconditionally and unequivocally that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is as secular as they come. He's somebody who wears his Hindutva on his sleeves unapologetically. He has no qualms calling for the 400th birth anniversary celebrations of Guru Tegh Bahadur from the ramparts of the Red Fort. He has no qualms visiting the Pope at the Vatican in 2021. This is the same Modi government which sent a high-level delegation led by the then External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj in 2016 when Mother Teresa was canonized as a saint. This is the same Prime Minister Modi who actually rescued Father Tom in 2017 from the clutches of the ISIS. This is the same Prime Minister Narendra Modi who visited Egypt in June 2023 and was awarded Order of the Nile because he renovated the Al Hakim Mosque, which was actually renovated by the Indian government and the Indian Bohra community. This is the same Prime Minister Narendra Modi who has no qualms, giving a chadar at the Ajmer Dargah as a matter of respect. So I don't think Prime Minister Narendra Modi's secular credentials can be questioned, point number one. Point number two, let's get this straight. That, Shabnam Hashmi, she is a repeat offender. If you recall, Shabnam Hashmi's brother, Safdar Hashmi, was murdered way back in 1989. Yes. And guess what? Shabnam Hashmi has the audacity to lecture Narendra Modi, but 14 years after her brother Safdar Hashmi was murdered in 2003, guess who was convicted for Safdar Hashmi's murder? Along with 14 people, it was a Congress leader called Mukesh Sharma. But you will never see Shabnam Hashmi training her guns at Congress leaders, despite the fact that the killer of her brother was actually a congressman. Now let's come to the moot point very quickly. I also did some homework before coming on your debates. There are more than 3 dozen organizations which have written a letter saying, can I please finish? There are more than 3 dozen organizations which have written a letter saying Christians are being persecuted by the Modi government. Very quickly, I found out that more than 97% of these organizations which have written this letter owe their allegiance to an organization. Rahul, who's this man who's going
I'll have to lower his fader. Mr. Chaudhary, don't make me do what the Congress is doing in Telangana, please.
Can I finish,
I'm
please?
lowering your feet.
Thank you.
Sorry, Vivek Srivastava. My gosh, there you go.
Can I please finish? Thank
Vivek
you.
Srivastava,
Now,
the
this is-
insurgent. Please
Can I
lower
please
his
finish,
fader.
Rahul?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, this is the most important point. I always say when you come on debates, especially on Rahul Shivshankar's, do your homework. Don't just come and blabber mindlessly. 97% plus of the organizations that have written this letter alleging persecution of Christians by Modi government, they owe their allegiance to an organization called USCIRF. USCIRF
Okay.
is funded by Open Society Foundation. Who has been the chairperson of USCIRF for the longest time, Rahul? It's a lady called Anurima Bhargav. Who is Anurima Bhargav? She's the same lady who said that the Citizenship Amendment Act should have never come about. This is the same lady who calls Kashmir India occupied Kashmir. This is the same lady who in 2022 said
so this is
that
motivated.
human rights in India are a matter of concern.
Okay, motivated
Now,
you're saying.
My last point is this.
Yeah.
If you really care for the Christian community, Rahul, I would like to tell the Congress party, have the guts to support the CAA.
Okay.
Because CAA gives legitimacy to persecute
Good point.
Christians from Bangladesh, Afghanistan and Pakistan. Do you have the guts to support CAA?
Okay.
If you don't, then please
But
zip
I
it.
just have to say though that the BJP took its sweet time in bringing about the CA, notifying its rules. Took 5 years, which was then also an egregious act of omission. But anyhow, that having been said, viewers, one second. That having been said, viewers, that having been said, let me also bring in Anil Antony, who is in the BJP and he happens to be a Christian. Why do you think, Mr. Antony, the 200 individuals criticized the Prime Minister when, as Sanju Verma says, everything is fine? That is all staged.
See, this is all politics. Last 10 years you had seen, and that there is a certain section in our opposition who have been constantly trying to create misinformation campaigns against the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Prime Minister. And they are trying to create a politics of division and misinformation and disharmony. In the last 10 years, while our Prime Minister and our government is working with the philosophy of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Prayas, the opposition here, they are clearly working on an agenda to create fear psychosis among certain members of our community, members in our country. But we all know that it is continuously being rejected. You look at the last 3 elections. In 2024 also, it is only the second time in India's history that our Prime Minister and a government is coming back for the 3rd time. Now, 20 states across India, it is governed by the Bharatiya Janata Party and NDA, where people are overwhelmingly telling that they want double engine governments. So in the last 10 years, 11 years, continuously these kind of divisive, these kind of misinformation
so you're
agendas
saying
have been
the
rejected
people
by the
have spoken.
And so there isn't anything new to tell to them.
So let me bring in Vivek Srivastava. And Vivek Srivastava, look, I'm going to keep it short and sweet with you.
Yes.
You belong to the left.
Why?
Are you still...
You did not keep it short and sweet with Sanju Verma?
No, I'm talking about my question, so I can give you some time to speak.
Okay.
You didn't understand what I was trying to say. But anyhow, Mr. Srivastava, I just want to ask you, you belong to the left, yes?
Yes.
Yes. You know that the left leadership
very clearly
in Kerala has come out and said that Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra have been propelled into parliament on the back of Islamist extremists. Their support. How is it that these 200 signatories...
Rahul, purani kahani ho.
No, 2 din purani hai. 2 din purani hai. No, 1 second. Then how come these people are not writing to Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra questioning their secular credentials, and they only seem to get pricked by what the Prime Minister does? Why is there this, hang on, selective outrage? Very quickly, tell me.
There is no selective outrage. Right. We fought the elections in Kerala. If something was wrong, we pointed it out. The story is over. India Alliance stands together. We are against the communal politics of the BJP, and the Honorable Prime Minister of India should not have given Mr. Pratap Sarangi, who was accused at one time of burning alive Australian missionary.
1 second, let him finish.
Staines, his wife, his children. Dara Singh was caught.
Yes.
And there was a long, everybody knows what Mr. Sarangi stood for. I mean, he may have been let off by the courts.
Yes.
And these are the kind of people who are being given the ticket. और आप कह रहे हैं कि Christians के बड़े, बड़ा secular है हमारा Prime Minister. I mean, you are just doing cosmetic lip service so that you can tell the Western world, look, all is well over here and I am visiting the church on the Christmas. But इस देश में minorities को आप पीटते हैं और बांग्लादेश को question करते हैं.
ठीक है. Srivastava ji, that's your answer. Lump sum. Okay. Now listen to this, viewers. CPM Politburo member 2 days ago. I'm not saying this, quoted on December 22nd in the Sunday Express, that is the Indian Express's Sunday edition. And I want to bring in Ishkaran Bhandari. Communal Muslim Alliance behind Rahul Priyanka's Wayanad win, says CPM Politburo member A. Vijay Raghavan. He adds, who were in the front and back rows of the procession of Priyanka Gandhi, ? The worst extremist elements among the minorities were in them. Without their support, was it possible for Rahul Gandhi to reach Delhi? ? Unquote. 1 second. Secondly, viewers, the left which is giving lectures in Bengal tied up with a sectarian organization called the ISF that was led by a cleric that spews hate against, guess whom, viewers? Hindus. And let me tell you, it was Kapil Sibal and Anand Sharma of the Congress party that said, this is not on. Guys, we shouldn't be tying up with individuals as checkered as these. These are the parties that are talking about today, viewers, secularism. Ishkan Bhandari.
Rahul, may I lead another headline?
Yeah.
Bishop warns Christians in Kerala against love and narcotics jihad. You read the glorious achievements of some of the so-called secularists who signed the letter. It appears they have a problem when Prime Minister goes to a mandir. They have a problem when Prime Minister goes to a Gurdwara. They now have a problem when Prime Minister is celebrating Christmas or going to a Christmas event. So basic thing is, it appears either they have a problem with Prime Minister period, or they have a problem with all religious festivities except one which they consider to be secular.
Yes.
And that is the problem which is getting exposed all over the place, because they are not consistent with their stand. When at Hanwan they call themselves the secularists. On the other hand, you gave two examples of how they ally with people who are anything but secular, in fact are radically inclined towards one direction, and on TV debates they come and defend it.
Let me ask you, Mr. Kamru Chaudhary, what would you call a leader who walks with a hate-spewing personality like George Punaya? Would you call him a secular person, or would you call him, sir, a communalist?
Rahul, today's debate was
it's very clear. No, sir, you are always finding a problem with the subject of the debate. The debate is very simple. I'm asking you, George Punaya walks with, now viewers, listen to this, since he's not going to answer like he did in the last debate. The problem is, viewers, I present the hard facts and they cannot be disputed. So I'm asking, viewers, once again, think about this. Had Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, decided to embark on a kilometer after kilometer long Bharat Jodo Yatra in the company of Yati Nrsimhanand, what do you think would have happened in this country? Yati Nrsimhanand, who, viewers, is a vile hate monger, vile with a capital V. Had Modi walked with someone like that, these guys, till all the ink in this country ran out, would have written tomes and tomes of letters. And when the ink would have exhausted, they would have drawn blood and written, viewers, letters in blood. Rahul Gandhi can walk with hate spewers. His party can put into the electoral field hate spewers. They can tie up with hate mongers. But no letters land on their doorstep. I think Mr. Modi should build a door which doesn't have a slot to post a letter. That would perhaps be my advice. I leave it at this, viewers.